Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again.
counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
Good evening and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. Here for your Clio Cup action tonight. Good evening, welcome to Simplay Motorsport. Not quite sure if you heard it first time around, just trying something a little new, but we are live here at Silverstone National. I'm Matthew Duffin again on this Monday night, Monday morning we are, well it's Monday evening in real life, but it's Monday morning on the game. Here for Silverstone National, the penultimate round of the Clio Cup. We are a few drivers short. We hope to get these drivers in at the latest stage, but either way, we have got a race on. 10 guys out there on track. Little Each has just got in, that's brilliant. Jamie Brazier with me again tonight in the commentary box. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening, Matt.
How are we? We well?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Silverstone National. We've just been here for the touring cars over the weekend. We've stayed for the Clio Cup. What are we predicting tonight?
Hopefully some better racing than we saw at the weekend, because as we've been saying off air, that wasn't the best racing at the weekend. So hopefully the guys in the Clio Cup can put on a bit of a show for us.
Yeah, indeed they can. We've got a bit of a championship fight happening as well, haven't we? Falguest versus Unorthodox. 5 points the gap after Falguest had a great week at Alton Park last week, and Dan, safe to say, didn't have his best of nights.
Yeah, he had a bit of a horror show last week.
Alton Park, Foster's it was as well for the guys who missed that one, where Fury took an outstanding win, to be fair to Fury. Hats off to him, who took, battled with Gary and Falguest and Little Each and Sutty throughout the evening and really put on a good display, didn't he?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, he did. He wasn't fazed by any of the cars behind him and just kept the lead.
Here tonight, though, completely different track, Jamie. Very flat. Your only real braking zones is Copse Corner into Beckett's and then Brooklands and Luffield. Who do we think, the slipstream we've seen in previous leagues and previous events around this circuit, slipstream in these Clios around this track is hugely important. Who do we think's going to be the guy at the front tonight? Who do we think's got that potential of taking the race win?
I'm not too sure at the minute because I haven't seen anyone do any practice. I don't know how many people have done any practice in the rain, so I'm just going to go with the usual with Unorthodox and Fury and Falgest up the front.
What can this man do that we're currently on, Gary?
I reckon Gary will be up there. So I don't quite know what Gary will do. Don't know how he's got that car set up and how much time he's had in the car. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will indeed then. I'm just going to quickly run you through the... Oh, we just lost Little Each. Hopefully we can get him back. Just going to run you through the championship standings then. Unorthodox leads the way on 80 points, 5 points clear of Falgest. It's a big jump back to Fury in third place. Now, a lot of these drivers, all the way down to the Mutsnuts, are still mathematically in for the title, but Fury's in third on 48. Good little midfield battle this as well, Jamie. Keegs then in fourth on 44. Grandad Steve fifth on 40. No Grandad Steve yet. Gary's then sixth on 36. So a good little four-way battle between them. Little Each is 7th on 37. The Mutsnuts is then 8th on 29. Peaceful Explosion is 9th on 27, with DJ Phil on 25 in 10th. Ben Phelan not here tonight on 11th place on 23 points. Sooty Apex, another one who's not yet here, is on 19. Don't Know Mate is on 16 points, with Monkey Boy on 12. Not able to race tonight as Monkey Boy texted me a little earlier. PN Motorsport on 10 points. That Bozzy Boy 16th on 9. And, well, RJ Dale never got going. So, yeah. But all the way down to the Mutsnuts can still mathematically win the title. 52 points still up for grabs. But you feel it's a two-horse race, really, don't you? 5 points separating the top two. You go 32 points back to Fury. Although there's 52 points on the board, Fury really needs a miracle for... I mean, especially while there's 11 drivers out there, when Little Each gets back in, there's not enough of a points differential for Fury to really claw big points back at this stage of the season, is there?
Well, so you say that, but you never know what might happen to Unorthodox and Falgest. They both might...
True.
Both might disconnect in one of the two remaining races, and Fury could go on and win them both. So Fury's not out of this by a long shot.
No, we've got to have a quick mention as well before we get to the people in the comment section for the young Scotsman out there on the grid. The youngest driver, I think, on the field as well tonight. Keegs marking his 50th appearance tonight is Keegan. And at the minute, 300ths off the back of Dan, quicker than Falgest by a bit as well. This could be a good night for Keegs. But Keegs making that 50th appearance, Jamie. It's been a while coming since he pulled out of the GT3s, but he's finally getting to that landmark, and it's nice to see him get there.
Yes, it is nice to see him get there. He's one of the people that's been here since the start, so yeah, it's just nice to see him reach that landmark.
As we say, good evening to PN Motorsport, Michael Matthews, aka Peaceful Explosion, Rabbit Joe's in the chat, as is Peaceful Stepdad, Welshie and Fury, all in the chat, so a good evening to all of them. 14 people watching, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're seeing some early times come in. Now, the thing with practice here is, the early times are great, get them in while you can. The problem is, the wetter it gets, that's going to be it. So this pace that we might see from Little Each and DJ Phil for getting a lap might be it, although Fury is 7/10 up on his lap at the moment, and that would be good enough. Well, to be good enough to put him up there. Look at the top four, separated by 2.5 tenths. The Mutsnuts only 7 tenths off the lead, and Peaceful only a second back. This could be interesting from these guys out there tonight. If they're that close, this could be some close racing out front.
Yeah, so with the use of the slipstream around here, it should be very close racing.
38 lap race for this one then. The pit window is the end of lap 8 up until the end of lap 29. Bit of a big pit window. We may have to have a rethink for these 45-minute races, although I think for the next one we may have to rethink a different schedule or something as we go through. As Grandad Steve, in and out. Hopefully he can get back in, because I don't know about a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether there is a 2-minute barrier on here, so hopefully he does get back in.
Yeah, I know there is for qualifying, but this is obviously practice, so I don't know if there will be for the practice session itself. We hope he can get in though, because he's obviously fighting for that top 5 spot in the championship as well.
Yeah, he is. So, he's back in now, so hopefully he stays in. Yeah,
hopefully he can get himself out on track and ready to go. as we head down into the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, the top 6 now covered by just under 8 tenths.
Yeah, the top, who is that? That's Fury, the Mutt-Nuts, Gary, Falges, Keegs, and Orthodubs, and Peaceful just over a second behind. You've then got to give a shout out to P&M Motorsport. PN Motorsport. I keep saying P&M, but it's not. It's just PN Motorsport. Don't know, mate, and Phil. They've plugged away this season as well and picked up points where others have struggled. As Fury goes wide there and Keegs able to get through. I'm looking forward to this Silverstone race. I think the Clios around here could be an interesting watch.
Yeah, they could be very interesting. It's also going to be interesting coming into I always get mixed up with this. It's either Brooklands or Luffield.
No, you're right. Brooklands then Luffield.
Yeah, through Brooklands, watching if a car tries to go from the outside to the inside, because sudden change of direction can flip a car, as we've seen previously.
And as we saw at the weekend as well, that's kind of where I remember at one point Ash Sutton got past Dan Rowbottom in the Infinity versus the Honda. He just kind of took Brooklands a little wider and was able to just come back across into Luffield and get underneath Rowbottom onto the straight. Beautiful move, as well as a few cars coming into the pits and at the final minute. I don't think we've got Grandad Stee in, so I don't know if he can get in for the race or not. What a shame that would be, as he'd then have to miss. We're at Brands Hatch GP next week, so we would still get to do the finale, but obviously it's a shame that he won't be out there for the final, for the penultimate race of the season, especially when he's got a top 5 battle on his hands.
Yeah, that is a big shame that he's not in.
Busy day at work? Yeah, he's left. Yeah, he's left. Yeah, he's left. He's struggled to get in then.
Yeah, he's realised that he can't get in. All Keats having a bit of a moment there at Luffield.
So, Jamie, what does Silverstone do for these drivers tonight? What kind of challenges do they have around this circuit?
Oh, I was going to say, it's not a massively challenging circuit. The only challenging corner I find on this track is where is it? Beckett's, because as the car's turning left, you're braking and it just unsettles the car, and it sometimes just spears the car off.
Just here, isn't it, that you're on about? Yeah, just
through there it can spear the car off, so you've got to be very, very cautious with the brakes, not slam them on.
The thing is in the wet as well, that's going to make that a little bit harder, isn't it?
Yeah, as well as we've seen over the weekend, a big factor about tonight could be track limits.
Yes, could be. Copse Corner, especially then as Fury goes into the pits. Look at the top 6, separated by 7 tenths. The Mutt-Nuts, Keegs and Dan, all within a tenth of each other. That is close, but you're right. Copse Corner, especially, could be the one to really watch with the track limits.
Yeah, and stay other places as well. Say, just coming onto the Wellington Straight, you see the cars sometimes run over that curb. Keegs comes across the line and finishes practice.
He does then. So Dan the quickest, but it's Keegs, the Mutt-Nuts, Falges, Gary, Fury, all within a 7/10 of a second. Peaceful's then in P7 with PN Motorsport in 8th. Don't Know Mate 9th. Little Each 10th. And DJ Phil in 11th place. Light rain throughout this one. And a 38-lap race here in these Renault Clios. It is going to be fascinating to watch, that's for sure. 16 people watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new as well. And Jamie, tip for the win.
I'm going to put my money on Fury.
Yeah, I'm going to give mine to the 50th appearance, man. I'm going to say Keegs for the win in this one. Join us, don't forget, Wednesday and Thursday night for the Pro and Pro-Am Series. Live this week at the Red Bull Ring, the first night race of the season. And join us in 3 weeks' time. Still date yet to be confirmed, but it is. We're looking between the 15th and 16th, 15th and 17th of October for the start of our Formula One Championship, in which Unorthodox will be taking you through the action live on that one. I myself, like Jamie Brazier, hopefully, will be out there on the track.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be out there, just not in a Mercedes.
I was just about to ask you that one. Does that rule out the Williams and the McLaren and the Aston Martin? Or?
Oh, no, I'll go in there, just not the actual Merc.
What number are you? Number 44?
Nah, number 25.
At least you didn't say 55. We'd have had to be having words then. I can't have 50. I can't have my lucky number's 5 because 5th of December's my birthday. Can't have that, said Vettel. You go to look at 55. Can't have that, Carlos Sainz. So I've got to stick with the number 50.
Yeah, so I would have 77, but Valtteri Bottas has got that one. Or I'd have 7, but Kimi's got that one, but I might have it. I'll have that one next season.
Yeah, look, you're in the same position as me, except one of your drivers is retiring, so you get that one back then. As we are ready up then, we look like we're ready to go. We're syncing up here. The lights come on then, so don't forget, this will be, I'm getting ready for the start of a race here, but it's not GT3s. We're green. No, we are ready for the formation lap, the grid order. That's what I've not said yet. PN Motorsport will be on pole position. Followed by this week, and I've seen him today. I've seen him because obviously his brother-in-law popped round a little earlier. Second place, Bryn, on the grid this week. You start P2, not by the back like last week. He's there, he's in place. DJ Phil is in third with Peaceful Explosion in fourth place. It is then the Muts Nuts who lines up behind Peaceful Explosion with Little Each in P6. P7 is Gary131 with Grandad Steve was P8. He's now not here. That is Keegs then in P8. We've then got Fury in P9. We should have Falguest in P10 and Unorthodox leading the championship from the back of the grid this week, if you will. Then 38.7 racing laps we will have. We are coming down the Wellington Straight. Temperatures in them tyres will just be getting cooler as they come down the back straight. 16 people watching, 13 likes. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe. If you are new to the channel, we are getting underway. If you're wondering why they're not overtaking or racing each other yet, that's because the race doesn't start until we get round to the line once again here as they come round into Brooklands and Luffield. And Jamie, this race is about to get underway.
Yeah, so will Pete, where's PN Motorsport going to go? Is he going to go out the final corner? Because it's quite a long run to the start-finish line, but no, he looks like he's going to back them all up.
Yeah, he told me he wasn't looking forward to doing this tonight. He told me he wasn't looking forward to leading from the start. I think he's gone, though, coming through now. And DJ Phil looks like he's going to have the run on Don't Know, Mate. But you cannot overtake until the start line. You can overtake now. So PN Motorsport catches Don't Know, Mate nap in there and leads in towards Cop's Corner then and has a good start to this race already. Good gap opened up. Phil attacking the back of Don't Know, Mate. That is the Muts Nuts and Peaceful looking side by side. Do you remember Peaceful and Little Each here in the GT5s not long ago, Jamie, where they collided into this wall on the inside? Don't Know, Mate, then defending the inside line. Peaceful gets a beautiful undercut, and look at that, textbook from Peaceful Explosion up the inside of Don't Know, Mate into P3. Little Each is 4. Phil down to P5 for the minute, and Dan didn't seem to get away well. He's a bit off, about half second off the back of Falguest. He's got some time to make up, but look at them all as they come down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands for the first time. That is Peaceful. That's Phil, I think, who's just caught the side of the Muts Nuts, or was it the side of Little Each who got forced wide? Gary now gains a couple of places as well ahead of DJ Phil. Jamie, they're all way pretty cleanly though.
Yeah, so they're all way pretty cleanly. Not too many overtakes to talk about on the opening lap. There's a few now, they're all quite close. Falguest has been to position on Keep, so that's another car in between him and Unorthodox. But well done to PN Motorsport for leading his first lap here.
Yeah, he's led his first lap here at Simplay, and that is Gary looking up the inside of the Muts Nuts, who's very, very wide through Cop's Corner, looking on the outside of Little Each, who can't defend that one. Then as they come down towards Maggots and Beckett's, but we kind of stop at Beckett's and go U-turn around it, and that was a car off in the background. I think the Muts Nuts has gone, well off. Peaceful then leads this race. PN Motorsport is down to 4th. Don't Know, Mate has pretty much kept second as he's got back past PN Motorsport as well. And Gary then up into 3rd. Little Each is well getting the run. And look at these cars. The Mutsnuts now has got a job on his hand to get back onto this pack. Look at Dan, still kind of sat at the back at the minute, Jamie. He's got past PM Motorsport now as well. Or has he? No, he hasn't, because I think PM Motorsport's going to try and keep it there with DJ Phil. There is... No, that's not PM Motorsport, that's Keegs who's Dan has managed to get past now. Phil then up the inside. Cars between him and Falgast at the moment. That's not what Dan needs in this championship run, but Phil will keep it there then so far. Look at this little battle. Still a car in between them. So it's peaceful from Gary. Don't know mate's drop now to third. Fury, though, having a look up in towards Cop's corner. Peaceful then leads a race. And how often have we said that here? Kelly, if you're watching, our boy's doing it. Our luck's rubbing off on him here, but he's still got a long way to go in this one. Then Fury gets past. Don't know, mate. Little Leach is having a look. That, I think, is PM Motorsport off in the background at Cop's corner. And has Little Leach got Don't Know Mate done? I think he has, coming into this corner. Oh, a bit of a rub as he forces him wide there. And Falgast as well, looking up the inside. And they're ping-ponging off of each other. But Don't Know Mate's kind of in a trap there. Oh, and Falgast is round. And Dan's round with Keegs as well. And Dan's managed to keep it out the walls. And where has Falgast got it going? I think he has. I think Falgast is just behind Dan. But Don't Know Mate was being pincered there by Little Leach and Falgast. And Dan joined in the party. And they all went off.
Yeah, just looked like they were all just concertinaing up on the straight and one what a bit of track where everyone was. Oh, that's Don't Know Mate wide.
Yeah, very wide there. Manages to get on ahead of DJ Phil. Falgast then.
Yeah, he's ahead of Dan still.
Yeah, was just about to say that. So he's managed to keep ahead of Dan there. Did Dan give Falgast the place back? Because it looked like Dan kind of joined the party as Don't Know Mate was pinballing in between Little Leach and Falgast, and as Gary pushing Peaceful Explosion through Cops. And look at Fury as well. Look at the run he's got. Little Leach is sat there watching this, and they're looking to go 3 abreast here as they come down towards Beckett's corner. Lap 5 this is, and in towards Beckett's they go. Gary manages to stay ahead of... In fact, no, Gary manages to stay second. Yeah, that's because they've both jumped Peaceful, but Fury got Gary as well.
Yeah, that was a very good move from Fury there. I had flashbacks to Rob Collard at 2017. I was expecting one of the... Oh, Gary goes for the goes for a bit of a Josh Cook lunge.
Oh yeah, but Fury's gone deep himself, and he's done the move then, and manages to defend into Brooklyn's corner, into Luffield corner. He comes then. Gary then up into the lead of this race, but Fury looks to tuck underneath as they come through the little kink. I believe it's called Woodcut, Jamie. As they come through this cut here, Fury just on the curb. Little Leach and Peaceful staying with this battle as well, as Don't Know Mate still 5th ahead of DJ Phil for 5th and 6th. And look at this, the Mutsnuts back up to 7th after that spin. Keegs on 50th appearance is down in 12th, and look at these 4 going with each other here. It's nice to see Peaceful running up there, Jamie.
Yeah, it was very nice to see Peaceful running up there. It kind of reminds from second to 4th, reminds you a bit of season 1, seeing Gary, Little Leach and Peaceful all up the front.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? From a previous from THR, from Simplay. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, where Peaceful won that race past Little Leach like he was standing still down the Wellington straight in the wet. So I'm sure Peaceful's got fond memories of overtaking Little Leach down this part of the track. Can he do it again then? Because Gary's gone from 1st all the way down to 4th, although Josh Cook sends one up the inside of Peaceful at Brooklands. Now looks to Luffield as Little Leach gives him that room. He's trying to look around the outside of Fury here, and all this is kicking off. Don't Know Mate and DJ Phil are actually gaining on this little battle, this little quartet up front here. So what are these guys what's Don't Know Mate going to do then? As there's Gary and Peaceful looking up the inside of Little Leach. What happened to him? Did he run out wide? I didn't see that one.
I think that Little Leach just got hung out to dry, or he's just trying the ash. Yeah.
Sorry, Peaceful and Little Leach here were just leaning on each other a little bit, and look who's with Peaceful and Little Leach now. Gary's challenging Fury for the lead. Don't Know Mate is back onto the rear of Peaceful and Little Leach here, so having a good showing is Don't Know Mate at his best showing. Oh, and as I say that, just at the kink where Jamie was on about, he's managed to get back on track. I think he's managed to avoid contact with Little Leach here. He's managed to come back on and save it, but where you were saying, Jamie, earlier on, that little part was where it's caught Don't Know Mate out.
Yeah, so he come back on, and I think Little Leach just saved him there, because he's hit him. Don't Know Mate has come side on into Little Leach and saved them both there.
Yeah, Gary's potentially.
Around the outside, Fury, he's going to try and get the run. He's too far wide there. He's not going to get the run. Oh, no.
Oh, look at this. Oh, that's Peaceful. Don't know, mate. Peaceful's round then in there. Who else was involved in that one? I don't think I saw the other car. Was that the Mutt Nuts as well involved in that one who went round? Yeah, it was as well. No, it wasn't Peaceful, sorry. It was Mutt Nuts. They're running the same livery, just obviously the other coloured wing mirrors there. Apologies to Peaceful Explosion. Was it DJ Phil involved as well, then?
Yeah, DJ Phil, the Mutt Nuts is into the pits.
Yeah, he's into the pits then. So he will be pitting, making the first stop of the night. Fury, Gary, Peaceful, Little Each, Don't Know, Mate, still fifth. Falguest and Dan pretty much still together.
Yeah, so they're just trying to work. I think they're probably just trying to work with each other just to make their way up the order, and then later in the race having a bit of a fight. Now
the interesting one for me as well here is no cars in between them. Does Falguest look to just be stretching a gap over Dan? Dan was a tenth quicker last time around, but there's about 0.6 of a second between the two of them as Fury taking a very strange line there. Then the Mutt Nuts out the pits and is nearly a lap down. That's how short the lap is around here and how slow the pit lane is. Silverstone, one of the slowest pit lanes at this circuit. Keegs is on the back of PN Motorsport, trying to get on the back of DJ Phil as well, as these cars are all up the field. Fury from Gary from Peaceful. Peaceful having a real strong showing tonight.
Yeah, Peaceful's looking up the inside.
Yeah, he's having a sniff, isn't he? He's really looked like, Gary, very, very wide at Cops, and Peaceful will say, thank you, Mama, for the carrots, Gary. I'll have that position. I'll have some of that one. As Falguest now on the back of Don't Know, Mate, as they come down towards Maggots and Beckett's. Here comes Little Each on the back of his brother. Now, I saw, commentating on a previous league, I can't remember the two drivers leading the race, but Gary and Little Each were sat third and fourth, nowhere in this race. The two leaders was well out in front of Gary and Little Each, took each other off, and these two took a 1-2 win at this track. In the night conditions, though, this is obviously 5 a.m. in the morning, so the sun may rise by the end of this one. Then as Gary looking back up the inside of Brooklands, but Falguest, crucially, Jamie looking at the timing screen, has got himself ahead of Don't Know, Mate, and put a car between himself and Unorthodox as Little Each comes back at Gary once again.
Yeah, so he's now put... That's good for Falguest, putting the car in between himself. Gary picks.
Yeah, early undercut here. Now, long run down towards the pit lane limiter line, and Gary does well to get that stopped. So, like you say, there's daylight between... Well, there's a car and a bit of daylight between yourself and Dan now for Falguest. What do you do in terms of getting... in terms of making sure you can get onto this pack, really? Because when Falguest is with these guys for the lead, his job's a bit easier in terms of scoring them more points. Don't forget, 25 for a win, 20 for second place. So if Falguest won and Dan got second, somebody else took the fastest lap, they'd be tied going into next week. At the minute, it's all looking rather juicy. 19 people watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Little Each, so coming through Beckett's, has a run on Peaceful Explosion, it looks like. And can he make that one stick as they come down towards Brooklands and Luffield? They're still side by side. Peaceful as well. He's got the race pace to race with these top guys in this league.
Yeah, so it's really impressive from Fury. Oh, Peaceful's looking up the inside though.
Yeah, he's got...
And then Little Each just gives him a little tap up the rear. This is all going to be encouraging for Falguest, because he's just going to be slowly catching up onto the back of him whilst these three have a battle.
Now, Unorthodox has got past Don't Know, Mate. You see there in the background the purple of Don't Know, Mate, just behind the white car of Unorthodox then. They've got 10 seconds back to Keegs as here comes Little Each, just door rubbing with Peaceful Explosion through Cop's corner. And again, looking up the inside. It's ebbing and flowing between these guys. So many opportunities for overtaking here. This is what we expected at the weekend, but we didn't get it, as Peaceful, still defending from Little Each, in towards Beckett's, manages to close the door on him there. Little Each, so forcing that door back open, and he's coming up the inside. Has he got the run? These two just squabbling are allowing Falguest and Dan and Bryn to Unorthodox and Don't Know, Mate, to get on the back of these two, and are just allowing Fury to creep away a little bit here.
Yeah, I was then about to say that. Fury's just got a second to these two now, and Falguest is close to within 4/10 of them.
Yeah, Falguest really close in. Dan then is a further second back, a further 5/10 back. Then as Little Each back up the inside through Luffield he goes, and that is job done for him.
Yeah, these two really need to stop squabbling and try and catch back up to Fury.
Yeah,
if he keeps squabbling, he's going to be gone.
Use each other to slipstream each other to get through. Falguest, though, he's right with them as they come through Cops. Little Each leads them, and look at the run that Falguest gets. 2 wheels kept on the curb there, so well within the limits. Oh, he's got Peaceful done. Well, lovely manoeuvre from Falguest. He's looking at Little Each as they come in towards Beckett's corner. Dan now is on the back of Peaceful, and there's now 2 cars nearly ahead of these two. Oh, and look at the switchback. Ash Shutton-esque on Little Each there. Set him up an absolute kipper.
Yeah, and Northdub's now looking to get past Peaceful. This is going to be quite nervy for Northdub's because he's seen Falguest has got through quite cleanly, so he's just got to make his way through as quick as he can with avoiding contact. He's done Peaceful already. Yeah,
he's up the inside of Little Each as well. I think they're all too close that Little Each couldn't get that Clio backstopped in between himself and Falguest. So Little Each, and he's well out wide there is Little Each. That's going to hurt him. Falguest then coming into the pits then for an undercut as Dan, Little Each and Peaceful carry on their way. Look at the lead Fury's got now though. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Now.
So I was thinking to say Falguest has possibly made a good decision there.
Yeah.
Because he could, Peaceful and Little Each could now get Northdubs into their fight and slow him up.
Slow him down a little bit. Keegs is coming to the pits as well. The one man to keep an eye on, Jamie, is Gary. Falguest, I think, is on his way out the pits. Where's Gary in this? Because Gary was the first one. Well, the Mutsnuts was the first man to pit. Gary was ahead of Falguest. I think Falguest has jumped Gary here. Yeah, you've just heard that Clio get back up to speed, so Falguest has definitely jumped Gary then. So did Gary pit too early? Is the undercut not the right choice?
Oh, we don't know. Little Each trying to look round the outside of a Northdubs. I reckon a Northdubs must be sweating right now, knowing that any little mistake from him and they're going to be through.
Yeah,
any little mistake from
any contact, any mistake from Dan, anything, anywhere, they're going to look like that's going to give him the opportunity. He's got to go long here. Is it the longer that you can make your stint last, the better choice for these drivers? 14 laps in out of 38, so we've got 24 laps left to go here. And at the minute, it's been a patient start to this race. Dan had that one mistake earlier, didn't he, with Falguest? But you have to say, him and Falguest haven't charged to the front like we've seen in previous weeks. They've gone about it very steadily at the moment.
Yeah, we've gone about it very steadily. There's, say, with everyone being so close, it's not able to make as many passes. So yeah, it's probably just nature of the same.
Here comes Little Each in towards Brooklyn's corner and trying to be late on the brakes. A bit of a tap on the doors there between Dan and Little Each trying to take that wider line into Luffield. He goes, but that's what you were saying, Jamie, about if Little Each and Peaceful get involved here, just that little tap. Now you think if Dan goes round, now is that smart from Dan? Is that wise?
Yeah,
I think so.
That's very smart. He just needs to slow down. There you go, slow down.
Oh, yes, because remember what happened back here, back at Silverstone, we did the international circuit in the GT5s. Dan got disqualified, if you remember, which kind of helped me and D-Biggs back onto his case for knock hill. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So he'll be pleased that he's got that one slowed down in time then. Well, Dan. So now then, Little Each and Peaceful back to second and third. Don't Know Mate's back up into P4. They've all been released. DJ Phil's got past Dan. Now, Falguest. Here's the big one. There's Falguest, there's Gary. Is Dan away? Yes, he is. There he is as well. Now off the pit limiter, but Falguest up to speed will get through relatively easy. What about Gary? Where's Gary in relation to Dan?
Just behind him.
Yeah, so they've both jumped Gary then. The overcut seems to be the way to go on this pit stops.
Yeah, so from the looks of it as well, Falguest is a bit closer. Oh, Northdubs is a bit closer to Falguest.
I'd agree with that one as well. About 9 tenths the gap between Falguest and Dan. About a second is the gap between Dan and Gary. So Gary will want to get on the back of these two. Race leaders into the pits as well. So Peaceful leads this race then. And we haven't seen Peaceful in the lead for some time here. Little Each in P2 with Fury down to third now. Don't Know Mate should take third place. Now, Don't Know Mate's come into the pits. He's got it slowed down as well. DJ Phil then should take third place. Now, Fury had about a 2 and a bit second lead. Will he get out the pits before these two? Fury's moving here. There is Unorthodox and Falguest coming down the start straight now. Look, through Woodcut they come. DJ Phil's only just got past Fury here then. They've all jumped Don't Know Mate, no problem. And Fury on his way here, Jamie. So that gap he pulled out early door. Yeah, the gap he's pulled out early doors, though, has seemed to work.
Yeah, he's only 1.3 in front, though, and he was definitely a lot further in front.
Yeah, was well over 2 seconds, we say. Evening to Bethany. Peaceful stepdad there as well. 14 people watching. Very quiet in the chat tonight. Come on, guys, let's get them comments in. Any questions for me and Jamie, don't be afraid to ask them then, as PN Motorsport is now down in 11th. Keegs is 10th. Don't know mate's come out in 9th place. But obviously DJ Phil and a few of us still to pit, so he can make up places from there. Peaceful leads then from Little Each. DJ Phil in 3rd. Ahead of this man, Fury, Falgas on Orthodox, Gary. The Mutsnuts don't know mate, Keegs and PN Motorsport as here for the lead again. These two are still at it.
Yeah, these two are just locked together.
Yeah, they're having a good battle. And it seems now, Jamie, that now's the time that they're using each other to get the best out of them Clios.
Yeah, they are. So Fury,
they're not now. Look,
yeah, not
weaving down the Wellington Straight.
As I'm going to say, Fury now onto the back of DJ Phil.
Yeah, Fury onto the back of DJ Phil. Phil at Little Each, Peaceful Explosion. The only 3 cars to have not pitted in this race as of yet then. And when will they decide to pit, as Phil is trying to weave his way down as well, and he's weaving while Fury's not really following him. So it kind of, you don't really need to weave there. Grandad Steve, come on, Fal. Sorry I missed the race, he says in the chat. No worries, Steve. Hopefully he can get us back next week. Get back next week, obviously, to try and knock Falgast out. Now, Falgast will really want Gary to get on the back of that little battle between him and Dan. Is Fury's put some daylight a bit more between Falgast and himself?
Yeah, he has.
Now Dan's got past Falgast in the background. Dan is ahead of Falgast, and Falgast trying to get a run through Woodcut corner. Phil then into the pits. Gary losing time to these boys here just in front. And Dan up the inside then through Woodcut onto the Cops corner. Falgast looking for that undercut then. You see him pushing him through turn 1. Couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, so that's going to be good for Unorthodox getting in front of his main championship rival. So Falgast is going to. They definitely look to try and get back past, but Unorthodox not going to make it easy for him whatsoever.
And the slipstream's going to be the key, Jamie. Is that possibly what Dan had over Falgast to get past him? Falgast now looks like he's got a run and a bit of a slipstream off of Dan through Beckett's that he can use towards Brooklands and Luffield.
Yeah, he's going to try it around the outside. That's not going to work. So he's possibly looking for a bit of a cut back onto the main straight.
Very interesting to see people's lines through Luffield, I always find. You see some people, like Falgas here, goes a bit wider, and I think that lost him time rather than keeping a tighter line into Luffield there. I don't know about yourself, though, Jamie.
Yeah, so you just say from the weekend, you just see everyone having their own line through there. Say you see Ash Sutton going very wide to get a good drive onto the straight in front. And say others, you just see being really tight.
You see Gary's trying to get on the back of Falgast and Unorthodox here as well. Just looking at the lap times, Jamie, the leaders are actually quicker than these boys here.
Yeah, and then... Yeah.
Could they put some daylight? Have they put enough daylight, enough time in the pits to get themselves ahead?
Yeah, we'll have to see when they come in. So whether Falgas really puts the pressure on Unorthodox.
Yeah, Falgas then will need to put that pressure on. He knows he needs to finish in front here, Jamie, to make sure that he keeps it. I mean, if he finishes behind Dan, it's not the end of the world in terms of the championship fight for next season, but he knows he's got to finish ahead of Dan to really make Dan sweat going into next week.
Yeah, you say every point that Falgas can gain on Unorthodox is... it's going to be very handy come the end of the season.
It is. Now, Gary's starting to get onto the back of this battle as well, and these look like they're starting to gain on Fury. Fury not having that slipstream anymore. As Falgas looks left, looks right. Jinx look towards Beckett's. Dan defends that pot. Falgas goes back to the outside. They rub doors a little bit here and down in towards Beckett's. Falgas very deep there. Bit of a twitch here. Not sure if that was a twitch or lag, but Falgas then now started to put some pressure on Unorthodox here.
Yeah, he's really trying to force the issue here because you can see Fury just trying to disappear into the distance.
Oh, he looks left, looks right again at Beckett's, and is he trying... Brooklyn, sorry, having a look. Can't get that one done. I reckon just come off of Falguest and go on to Dan or Gary for this, I reckon, because just that little bit of jumping, sometimes being off them, sort of helps their connection, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Gary's now looking round.
Yeah, looking at Woodcut on Falguest. Yeah. Falguest did not get around. Now, look at them puddles at Woodcut taking shape. That's an interesting one. We haven't talked about that. Remember the puddles at the Wellington Straight back in Season 1?
Yeah.
Oof.
All Gary on the grass.
The puddles could start to play a bit of a nightmare. Lap 21 of 38, so the pit window is coming to an abrupt end here. And the two leaders still have to pit in this one. Been a bit more of a calmer Clio race tonight, but plenty of time for the action still to kick off.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time for the action to kick off. So we've still got our two leaders to pit. So they more than likely are going to filter into this battle pack.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. What's the gap? 20 seconds to Fury. They're gapping Fury here, these two. So are they just starting to work with each other now, Peaceful and Little Each, to keep out in front? I tell you what, it would be lovely to see them two back on the podium.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant to see them on the podium.
Gary then, Falguest together. Dan's just crept a little bit further out in front from Falguest. He's now trying to create some daylight between the pair of these two. Can Falguest get back on the rear of him? You'd imagine so. You'd imagine the pace is there, especially if he can use Gary to go with him. Dan's trying to reel Fury in. You look at their last laps, 108.5, 108 dead, 108.2 and a 108.4, matching that of the leaders. In fact, look at Peaceful Explosion's lap time last time round. The only man in the 107s on the last lap. So really good pace from Peaceful Explosion.
Yeah, he's really trying to make sure he stays in the lead.
Do you know something here? I've not kept an eye on what the seconds is for the pit stops in terms of how long it takes to come in and out. Peaceful's in for a shout in this one.
Yeah, he really is. He's 19 seconds in. Oh, 17. Yeah, both in now.
That's why the time was coming down. They're both into the pits. Smart strategy from Little Each. Pit the same time your rival does. So here comes Fury. How long in the pits can these boys be? How long will they take in the pits? That is the big question. They're already halfway down the pit lane. Can't really see them. We'll have to go on board to see them properly. But here comes Fury. I think they both stopped now. They're both stationary now. That is PN Motorsport. Now one is away, Peaceful's away, and these boys are all going to have them here. They will be right on the back of this queue, though, I reckon. No, they won't. They're going to be well behind this queue. So they needed about another 5 seconds over the leaders, but they've got the time still. They've got the time.
Yeah, they might say as well. They might have put new wet tyres on so they can have a bit of a pace advantage.
I wonder if they have then. So Fury leads this one for a second week in a row. He's got 7 tenths back to Dan. Falguest is then in P3. He's got about 9 tenths to Dan. Gary is then in 4th. He's got a couple of tenths back to Falguest. And they're all catching PN Motorsport, I do believe. These two have came out 5th and 6th. And Peaceful's gapped Little Each a little bit more.
Yeah, so as well, they might have had some damage or put some fuel into the car. Or I wonder whether Little Each's pit box was just in front of
Peaceful's. Yeah, I wonder if it's held him a little bit as Peaceful got released. Yeah, back to the battle for 3rd then. That is PN Motorsport smartly moving out the way of the 4 leaders. Then it's Fury from Dan, from Falguest, from Gary. Gary closer to Falguest than Falguest is to these two. Look, so they're all gaining on Fury though. Gary getting a triple toe, if you will, as he's only 1.5 off the back of Fury. He will start to feel the effect of that slipstream from Fury, and then he's got Dan's, and then he's got Falguest. And look, we've seen Gary in the past in Renault Clios, Jamie, on a previous league. If anybody can do this job, it's Gary, but you cannot rule out the 3 in front of him.
I know, I was going to say you can't rule anyone out. I was going to say you can't even rule Peaceful and Little Each out. They may still catch up onto the back of them.
Yeah, they might do indeed. 12 people watching. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new. As Fury, did he look a bit wiggly through Brooklyn's here? It looked like the rear end was stepping out a little bit.
Yeah, the thing is for Dan though, if Falguest isn't putting the pressure on, he's being attacked by Gary. Unorthodox doesn't really need to do this.
No, he doesn't need to make the move because he's going to gain points over Falgast no matter what, especially if Falgast is under pressure from Gary. So you're right, he doesn't need to make that move on Fury. But does he just want to put it to bed or make next week even more harder for Falgast in terms of that championship fight? Dan will fight till the very end, we know this, but he's managed to gain Fury on that slipstream and has dropped Falgast, you have to say. Falgast hasn't really gone with Dan, has he?
Yeah, but say at the same time, he's now going to start making Fury go defensive, which is going to slow him down. So, whilst he may be pulling away from Falgast and Gary at the minute, with Fury going defensive already, that's just going to slow the pair of them down instantly.
Yeah. Now, will Dan look round the outside at Brooklands to make sure he tries and keeps a nose up front for Luffield? And I tell you what, I think he's done just that. Falgast over the track limits a little bit. Has Fury got himself in front just enough? No, because Dan has managed to keep a nose just in front. They rub doors just a little bit. And I think Unorthodox here has managed to get that job done on Fury and has managed to get that race lead. Fury's still fighting this one hard then through Woodcote. There you go, coming down the start straight. We say a good evening to Fury's mum, and it's Fury and Dan side by side for the race lead on lap 26. They start now, and Falgast and Gary slowly have crept onto the back of them. Fury still side by side with Unorthodox, and they bang doors again, Jamie.
Yeah, Fury not wanting to let this one go. He knows if a race win is going to keep his slim championship hopes alive.
It does indeed. He's managed to keep the lead there and tucks back in front of Dan into Brooklands. There you go. Look who's on the back of him now, though. Falgast and Gary on the back of them. While these four are battling, could this allow Peaceful and Little Each to get on the back as well? 5.8 seconds is that gap. Gary, though, sat in fourth. Could he do what Hamilton did to Norris yesterday and be opportunistic and get that move done for the race win? Can he be patient enough here to sit and wait for it? Dan's the attacker, Falgast the attacker, and Falgast needs to attack that little bit more than Dan, you have to say. But Fury doing a mega job at the minute.
Yeah, Fury's being mega defensive. He's slowing them all right the way up. I bet I was going to say Peaceful and Little Each would be begging for Fury to slow them right the way down, to give them a brilliant chance. But yeah, Fury's been very, very defensive. He's not wanting Unorthodox to gain another win on him.
He wants every opportunity, he wants every point to try and stay in this title fight as it will. They've actually gapped Peaceful over that last lap, so they've actually gapped Peaceful by near enough a second. And as they come towards Brooklands again on the brakes, you have to be so steady in towards Brooklands. Fury from Dan, from Falgast, who's pretty much pushing Dan, and he's got Gary pretty much pushing him, and Falgast pulls out now to look towards the outside line at Brooklands. Does he tuck back into that slipstream? He does. Gary's not bothered about the slipstream though. Is he alongside enough? Look at this. Falgast is coming down. Dan comes across. Up the inside into Brooklands is Falgast. Now, can he get it across? He can. And Gary's attacking Dan as well here. So Dan may lose 2 places. Gary, though, he's got to go the long way around. He's ahead of Dan. Falgast just slowing Dan up a little bit. Was he trying to get Gary involved a bit more there? They're 3 wide, pretty much on the exit of Luffield here. And down into Woodcote they come. Falgast ahead of Gary, ahead of Dan. 2 cars between them. And Dan's not going to enjoy this one little bit. Gary has nothing to lose at this time, at this stage of the race. Dan's going to look up the inside and towards Cop's corner on Gary. And does he back out of it? He has done, as Gary's still attacking Falgast.
Yeah, so I was going to say the person who's going to have enjoyed that most is going to be Fury, because he's gained a little bit up the road.
He has. Gary has got Falgast done there, Jamie, while you were saying that about Fury. Gary's got Falgast done, so now there is no cause between himself and Dan. Gary can attack for the lead, and I said, is Gary going to be opportunistic here and wait and be patient? He was very patient and saw the time was right to strike and pounced as quick as you like. Little Each and Peaceful could do with helping each other out here to get that slipstream. Keegs has moved up to 8th on his 50th appearance day. As Dan now looking for a way through. Did Fury just frustrate Dan enough there, Jamie, to switch off for a moment and let Falgast and Gary come back at him?
Yeah, so I reckon, with Fury being very defensive, Unorthodox knew he had to get past, put another car in between him and Falgast, so tried the outside move, and it just didn't work.
Down in towards Cop's corner then for the 29th time in this race. 28th racing lap, should I say, for this one then. As down they come and around the corner now. We're on lap 29 of 38. We have got fantastic action here at Silverstone. Brilliant to watch as Gary has really started to gap Falguest a little bit and really hassle the back of Fury now. Now, we've seen Gary and Fury battling last week at Alton Park. Falguest was involved in that one as well. So these three are back at it for a second week's worth of action. Dan has to sit and watch. Now, Dan has to do what Gary's just done. Patience, Jamie. Patience. Long way to go still.
Yeah, so as well, Falguest has possibly tactically let Gary through, so Gary can have a go at Fury.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the tactic to maybe that get these two to have a bit of a touch, have a bit of a tap or something and open the door, but nothing too much. He'll want to be in front of these two, with these two sat in between himself and Dan, because that'll give him some right championship points going into Brands next week. I am really looking forward to this. As look at Gary, he looks to look at Fury into Copse corner. Now Falguest surely will just sit and be patient and wait, and here comes Gary for the race lead at Copse. Can't get the move done on Fury, but look at the run Falguest got. Fury very, very wide over the curb. Has that gave Gary an opportunity? Has it gave Falguest an opportunity? No, because he's managed to tuck back in front of Gary 131.
Yeah, so you can see Falguest is wanting Gary to do his dirty work for him. He's just wanting Gary to open the door on Fury, and then Falguest can follow him through up the inside, isn't he? Gary then here looking to the outside as they head to Brooklands. The problem they've got is while ever these three are squabbling, like Gary was the fourth car in this train earlier, they've got Dan gaining. Gary then around the outside of Brooklands will have his nose up the inside for Luffield. Now, is this the opportunity that you've just said, Jamie, for Falguest? Contact between Fury and Gary. Fury trying to shut the door, can't get it done. Oh, and they're off! They're both wide! Fury and Gary rubbing doors, and they're both off, and Gary very unhappy with that with a flash of the lights, and that's given Falguest and Dan a huge lead. Yeah, that's exactly what Falguest and Northdoms wanted. They've wanted Gary to pressure Fury into making a mistake, and they're now both in the lead. So yeah, I know that they can just race, but maybe they just want to hold off for a few laps, because if they start battling like mad and say Falguest starts going defensive, Gary's going to be all over the back of them again. Yeah,
Dan needs to use his head here. Does he wait for Falguest? Does he attack Falguest too hard, like you say, Jamie? Does he wait to do a bit of a Falguest special here? Let's not forget as well, Falguest in the last two races, Jamie, has had a real chance at the lead on the last lap. Silverstone Classic, it worked. Here, Alton Park last week kind of didn't. We know Falguest is a last lap specialist. We called him last week. Dan's got to be patient here, but like you say, the more these two fight, the quicker Gary gets on the back of them.
Yeah, so I think Northdoms has quickly realised not to attack Falguest. He's just kind of dropped off the back a bit, and yeah, so he doesn't get any pressure behind from Gary. So maybe he's thinking about an attack on the last two laps of the race.
Is he sort of saving everything for one last charge? He'd need to be a bit closer than what he is, though, with 5 tenths behind him at the minute, half a second behind him. I think he needs to be a bit closer. Lap 32 of 38. We have still got 6 laps to go in this one, though. Gary just falling to 2 seconds behind now. Without that slipstream of Gary, he's really going to start to find it hard, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's slowly just dropping back, and yeah, his chances of winning this race are disappearing.
Fury trying to get to Gary, though. If Fury got to Gary, can them two slipstream each other a little bit, maybe, to get to the front runners? As you see, Dan just losing a couple more tenths. He's lost a good 3 or 4 tenths coming into Brooklands and Luffield there. We'll see it balance back out as they get on the throttle now. Dan was half a second behind going into Brooklands. He's now 8 tenths off the back, so he's lost a further 3 tenths there. So is Dan backing off? Because if so, he's created a bit of a big gap for me.
Yeah, so I think it'll either be Dan backing off or all his tyres have gone.
Well, look at the last lap. Falguest a 108.1, Dan a 108.5. Gary and Fury was both quicker than Dan. Peaceful in the 108.0. So Peaceful absolutely flying. What a shame he's not near the back of this pack, because what a race Peaceful could be having in this one as well. But at the minute it is Falguest who leads from Dan. Let's just drop down the back end of the grid a little bit here. Where's the Mutt Nuts? Let's have a look at him a second. He's there down in 7th place, just running on his own a little bit. Good pace from him. Keegs as well, he's behind, but there's 8 seconds between them. Keegs as well, he's got good pace as he puts a lap on PN Motorsport then. He's running P11. Don't know mate's 9th. He looks like he's a little off the pace and looks like he could be defending from Phil towards the back end of this. 111.4 for him, a 108.9 for Phil. Phil having some good pace. So it looks like Don't Know Mate could have to fight with Phil for 9th place within the next couple of laps. Dan just gaining a bit of time a little bit here. Gary's got Fury on the back of him now. So Gary and Fury, can they work together with coming to start lap 34 or 38? Can these two work together to get back on the front pack?
Yeah, so from the looks of it as well, North Dubs is now starting to close back on as Fury goes up the inside of Gary, easy as you like there.
Yeah, you see the daylight starting to come in a bit more, Jamie, as well. You see the white skies in the distance of the clouds, you'd say. Gary, then, has he done that to let Fury through, get back in that slipstream on the Wellington straight? Like you say, Dan, 2/10 quicker last lap and is back to half a second behind Falgas. Gary and Fury could be using each other here. Was that a flash to say, come on, let's do this now, bud?
Yeah, that very well could be. See, North Dubs is half a second off Falgas now.
Yeah, he was charging it up, wasn't he? He was saving himself for a last-ditch run, getting his head back into the right state to go. Is that Gary back up past Fury? No, I don't think it was. Fury and Gary still fighting then. I tell you what, these two squabble one more. That could promote Peaceful and Little each to 3rd and 4th if these two have another fight.
Yeah, it could.
Gary... Fury, 1.8 off the back of Dan. They really need to go some to get onto the back of that lap. 35 of 38. Fury pretty much gone. I wonder if Gary's got a bit of damage because a 108.9 from Gary doesn't seem that quick, and he's been in the slipstream of Fury there. Sorry, Jamie. Look at Little Leash and Peaceful. 108 deads they keep putting in here. What times they are pumping in.
Yeah, so it's the proper shame that they aren't a bit closer for a podium or a race win.
Now, Don't Know Mate and DJ Phil, they're looking a bit close. Look how close they are. Lap 34 about to start lap 35. They're not quite a lap down at the moment, but are really starting to get a bit closer. We'll keep an eye on that as this one develops then through here. Phil to the outside. In fact, we'll stay with it for a minute. Don't Know Mate defends on the outside. Now comes back across to defend. Has to take the corner. Phil's still going to look up the inside. And who gets the late to the break in there? I think Don't Know Mate managed to get that one stopped, but he's just looking like he's a bit slower than Phil on the pace here because he's now coming across to defend at Beckett's. Doesn't need to defend that left-hander. Phil puts the brakes on though. Don't Know Mate into Beckett's. Leads once again. Now the gap out front, Jamie, down to a 10th. This is the fight. Look at Fury and Gary. They're a second. Sorry, Gary well wide, 1.8 off the back. Fury's getting himself back into this one.
Yeah, Falgas has got Dan all over the back of him, so he's defending again. So it's a bit of a role reversal of what we saw earlier.
So Fury 7/10 off the back of the leaders now. Gary's only a second and a half. He'll be in that slipstream of Fury. I tell you what, this could be 4 for the lead going on to the penultimate lap of this race. Don't Know Mate still ahead of DJ Phil. We'll keep an eye on the timing screens for that one. But look, it's Falgas, Dan, Fury, Gary. Falgas will be praying that Fury or Gary can get up to the back of Dan and have a good squabble with him and maybe take a place or two off him. This is a great Clio racing. It's not been all the overtakes and all the manoeuvres in the world like Alton Park was, but this has been tactical.
Dan's pitting. He's nearly at fuel.
Oh no! The championship takes a turn! Can you believe it?
Has Falgas got enough fuel?
2.7 in the tank. Was that why Unorthodox was maybe backing off a Falgas? Was he lifting and coasting? Was he fuel saving? Is that what Falgas doing now? A 108.9. Fury Gary could be battling for the race win. Where's DJ Phil and Don't Know Mate?
The Mutts and Nuts could get
here. Possibly. Dan's nearly at.
He's now about to hit the pit exit. The Mutts and Nuts is going to be up to speed.
Yeah, Dan's just hit the pit limiter to get off the he is. He's going to have him done. Dan has dropped to P7. It's gone from bad to worse for Dan.
I know Dubs has just come out in front of the Mutts and Nuts, but say the Mutts and Nuts is now going to want sixth place off him.
Yeah, he's going to want sixth place, but Dan gets back in front. The gap at the lead, though, is 3/10 between Fury and Falgas. Is Fury about to get on for another race win? Falgas doesn't really need this race win now, does he? He knows he only needs to outscore Dan by 5 points. Dan is down in sixth place. That'll score him 10 points. Falgas can finish third and get the 5 points difference to tie with Unorthodox going into next week. But he knows he'll want that little bit more to keep hold of that championship lead. Gary cannot get with these two. We're on to the final lap. DJ Phil has got past Don't Know Mate somewhere in the background. Fury looks left, looks right, cannot get past Falgas. Now goes deep into Beckett's. Where's Gary? Could he benefit here from these two rubbing a little bit? Where's Fury gone? Oh, he's dropped well off of Falgas there, so deep.
Went very wide at Beckett's, but Falgas just got on the grass there a little.
Tell you what, one more car has a bit of a problem, and we could be seeing Peaceful Explosion up on the podium here now. Falgas, 1.1 litre in the tank, just enough to bring him home here. Into Beckett's they come for the final time tonight. Into Luffield for the final time tonight. Fury, I don't think he's going to get this one done. It looks like it's going to be... yeah, I can't see it. No, Falgas, though, is going to take the race win. Fury will come home for a second place. Ooh. What a job Fury has done. Falgas will take the race win here. Gary is going to come home for a P3, so another podium. Gary has not been off the podium since he's been here at the Clios. Peaceful gets a fourth place ahead of Little Leach in this one then. So a good fourth for Peaceful Explosion. Little Leach takes a P5. And for this man, well, you're going to be kicking yourself.
Yeah, you're going to be absolutely kicking himself. I think one or two more laps of fuel, and he would have been on for a podium and the championship lead still, and he spins across the line. Yeah,
frustration, I can only assume for himself, but you're right there. What could have been for Dan, as Keegs then comes across the line in the background as well. So we're down to 26 points remaining. We are waiting then for the final, for the fastest lap of this race. Here comes DJ Phil, who managed to get 9th place in the end. He finished a couple of seconds ahead of Don't Know Mate then, as he's there in the background. Comes across for a P10 after a good week at Donington last week for Don't Know Mate. PN Motorsport as well, finished in P11. Jamie, fastest lap of this one looks to be Fury.
Yeah, it's Fury.
Yeah, Fury then with the fastest lap, so an extra point to go to his name, really staking a case. Don't forget, if he'd have passed Falgas there, he would have had a right shout in this championship fight. Driver of the day, though, Jamie, where you get the top 3 in?
My driver of the day's got to be Fury, just because of...
Yeah.
He led the race for so long, had brilliant defence.
Now,
so yeah, my driver of the day goes to Fury.
Had Fury won that race, he'd still be in the title fight. He unfortunately isn't in this title fight anymore. Gary and Little Leach go up to 5th and 6th. Falgas has a 10-point lead over Unorthodox going into this championship finale at Brands GP. 10 points is the gap. Falgas to Dan. Fury's 3rd. Gary at Keegs is still 4th, a point behind Gary. Little Leach is up to 6th, ahead of Grandad Steve. Peaceful has got himself into 8th place. The Much Nuts is 9th. DJ Phil is 10th, ahead of Ben Phelan. Just ahead of Ben Phelan. Don't Know Mate is a point behind Ben. Sutty then at 13th. PN Motorsport is up to 14th, ahead of Monkey Boy. And that Bozzy Boy is last, as Gary joins us now. Gary, 3rd place for yourself, but a great little battle all evening.
Yeah, good fun. I do like the Clios. I've missed them, to be fair. So, yeah, it's good to get some good results.
Now, you've done 3 out of the 5 races so far. You've not finished off of the podium yet.
That's all right, isn't it? It's the boys who race up the top here. You can race them clean and fair and hard, and yeah, have some good fun.
Do you wish your Renault on a Thursday night had performed as well as this one?
To be fair, I think that's mostly down to driver error rather than the car, in all fairness. But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just had it in my mouth. No, well done tonight, mate. Best luck on Thursday night when we see you there, but great drive.
Cheers, mate. Well done, boys.
Fury, 2nd place. He's just got in the party as well. And Fury, good race from yourself there. Led again for majority of the race and a good P2.
Yeah, quite happy with that, to be honest. The tyre pressures were skyrocketing, even... I don't know why, but it was just wheel spinning kind of constantly. It was quite difficult.
You had the pace early doors. You had the pace over these guys in the race, but it was difficult. You had Peaceful and Little Leach at the start. You had Gary Falguest and Dan at the end. You seem to find yourself these last 2 weeks in the thick of the battles.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm actually quite happy with the pace I'm getting recently, and it's obviously proven to be the pace that I need to fight at the top.
Now, I forgot to ask Gary this. Gary, you can answer this one as well. What did you think when Dan pitted at the penultimate lap?
I laughed quite a bit, let's put it that way.
Furious.
Schoolboy error, not driver error, that's schoolboy error.
Yeah, not filling the car up with enough fuel. Well done, Fury. You got the vote for driver of the day as well.
Cheers.
Falguest takes a 10-point lead into this championship fight then at Brands Hatch GP next week, and really another fight, another scrap, but you didn't have to overtake on the last lap. You had to defend.
Yeah, it was real hard work. I realised with like 8 laps left, I only had 6 litres of fuel, and I was panicking. So I knocked it back to lean and was just trying to save fuel drastically, and obviously Dan did the same. I just spoken to him, but obviously he couldn't save enough.
You had the pace in this one again to sort of be at the front. You and Dan patiently made your way from the back to the front. And again, find yourself in the thick of the battles. No matter where we seem to look in these Clios over the weeks, there is battles all over. Yourself, Fury and Gary and Dan at times, find yourself in the thick of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're great cars, and it's a good, clean group of lads, and we're all good fun. We have great fun, and it's really good racing. It's probably the best racing I've ever had in them. So.
10 points in the lead at the championship. Brands Hatch GP next week, final race. What do we think, mate?
I mean, anything can happen. So it's nothing's over until it's over. So hoping for a clean race, and we'll see what happens.
Best of luck, buddy. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Jamie, any final words from yourself?
So just looking forward to the finale, the battle between Falguest and North Dubs for the championship.
Yeah, we'll be back live with that one from 8 p.m. next Monday night. Make sure you tune in for that one. We'll be back, though, Wednesday night and Thursday night for the Pro-Am and the Pro Series in the GT3s, where it's hotting up in the Pro-Am and a little bit spicy after a few disconnections Wednesday night. And the Pro as well is getting a bit juicy at the top of that table. In fact, all the way through that table is battles, no matter where you look. Red Bull Ring, first night race of the season. We'll be back live on Wednesday and Thursday night from 8 p.m. with them. Finale, though, next week. And what a week to finish it on. We're at Brands Hatch GP to finish that. And then that's the countdown week for me and you, Jamie, for Donington Park that weekend to be actually there. So I'm really looking forward to the countdown next Monday night. But we'll be back live Wednesday, Thursday. We're back with the Clios next Monday. From all of us here at Simplay Motorsport. Take care. Good night.
Good night.